Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing? Happy Tuesday. Happy to be here. It is post Gen Con. We're going to be talking about Gen Con. We're going to be talking about some of the things that I brought home, as well as some new fun Marvel and Arkham stuff that I get to show off. So that's going to be real fun. But yeah, it is Tuesday after Gen Con. Still not 100% recovered, but I'm excited to be here and chat about everything. What's going on, Gorismo? Good morning, a fellow human being. David, what's up? Yo, Matt. Main question, did you play 16-player Loki? I played 24-player Loki. So it was one of the smaller groups of the weekend, which was kind of crazy because I think there was a group, I want to say that was like over 96 players, which was kind of insane. But they had like, I think, a closer to 1,000 health Loki that they had to take out, which is just epic stuff. So cool. Chad's still going through a purge phase. Might not be looking good for Marvel Champions collections. Oh no. That's sad. Yeah. Gen Con was a blast. Gen Con was insane. I always do love Gen Con. I've been going since 2015. And so this would be, I guess my 10th year, like 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so I guess this was my 10th year. I assumed it was going to be 9 because I do math incorrectly, but now that I do it, here we are. Yeah, so 10 years of Gen Con. That's insane. David, which time slot were you? You were noon at Friday. Loki had 1780 health. So that's 20 health per player. What? 20? How many players was that? That's insane. That's so many, David. I was in the 3 o'clock on Thursday, I want to say. It was on Thursday. I have my schedule right here. This is a solvable problem. Yep, 3 o'clock on Thursday. Chad only played it as a solo game, but I really haven't played it close to a year. I still do enjoy watching people play it, though. Yeah, no, totally. Yeah. Don't even know. It was nuts. That's insane. Let's pull out the calculator because I can't do anything in my head. 89 players. 89 players is 1780 health. That's crazy. How was it for you, David? I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it. There's a lot of stuff, and we'll just go ahead and we have it. We have it here. So we're going to be unboxing this during the stream. And then tomorrow I have a stream set up for 10 a.m. Eastern time where we're going to be playing through both of the scenarios in this box. And then we're also going to be unboxing the new Arkham campaign, or not campaign, scenario pack film. And I'm going to be doing a recorded play of this to post as well. But overall, I thought that they were really solid. Really fun. Didn't feel like it was much of a threat ever, but the interaction with other groups on your pod was a blast. Totally agree. Yeah, I think we perfect or like flawless victory where we didn't have any counters on Worlds Collide, which is kind of that main scheme. So nobody was knocked out, and then also none of our main schemes popped. I do think we all played standard, and I think that threat would definitely be elevated if you're playing expert, but yeah. Definitely go Thor Justice with infiltration for the new oh yeah. I was definitely going to go Thor. I like Thor Justice. I think that'd be fun. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But I'm definitely going to go Thor versus Loki. I was thinking Valkyrie versus Enchantress, mainly because I think that would make her a little bit better because then Valkyrie, her nemesis can't come out, and that could be a little bit nicer on her, but we'll see. Sounded like one group did Flawless. Let's go. That was us. It was a crazy build. We did, I was running the Falcon protection deck that we built on stream. Worked really well. Really, really well. I loved playing that deck. Just pretty much just constant defending for the entire table. And then I was playing that alongside a Thor aggression player, which was a ton of fun because I was able to use Angel's Area to just give him minions, and he was sitting there with like anywhere from 3 to 7 minions, and because I was using my Draw Their Fire, I could defend against all of them, and he could sit there and play Bring It over and over again. Then we had a a newer player to the game, which was really exciting, who was playing Nightcrawler. And then we had a Spider player, Spider Leadership, which was running a Web of Life and Destiny kind of Spider Gambit. Good stuff. It was a really fun group. The pod was also a lot of fun. We had 3 groups in our pod, and then we had 2 pods running, which does sound like it was one of the smaller events that happened. We lucked out and didn't have shadows in the past in your encounter. Nice. What's up, Griffin? How'd the Falcon deck do? Falcon deck did amazing. I loved it. The Falcon deck was just so much fun to play, and it really shut down that table. Good times. Also in 4-player, what I realized with Falcon is with Angel's Air. No, not Angel's Area. What am I thinking of? Battlefield Aware. No, not Battlefield. The one where you can. I'm going to stumble over my words a lot in this stream because we are still not 100% caught up on sleep. But the one where you can. Aero Recon, where you can deal a player an encounter card. The other thing that worked really well in 4-player is there was a pretty high success rate on seeing either like a quick strike. I don't think there are actually any quick strike minions, but seeing extra activations in as the top card of the deck, and you could deal that out knowing that you're going to draw their fire and then be able to defend because that lasts until the end of the phase. So it was fun. I flipped down one time to heal back up to full with Angel's Airy, and that was all that happened. And the other thing is it made it so that all the other players didn't really need to flip down because they were not really taking any damage. It took me about 75% of a deck pass to feel like I was set up and ready to start defending for everybody. And like during that time, it was a little bit more of a slow going, but once we got the engine up and running, poof, so good. The whole thing made me fall more in love with the game. Nice. You typically play true solo. Now I want to really advocate play with your group because multiplayer is so much fun. Oh, that's so exciting to hear. Yeah. It's a good time. It was just a good time. So yeah, I was very happy with that. I'm excited to try it out solo tomorrow. We're going to be unboxing it a little bit later in the stream, but I brought home a couple of goodies. The first thing that we're going to take a look at is the only thing, the only game that I bought. So a lot of these games were given to me for content purposes, but the only game that I bought, let's go down to the table. Slay the Spire. So this game has been out for a decent bit, probably about a year or so. But I absolutely adore the video game. Slay the Spire is one of my favorite games of all time, and so I finally pulled the trigger and bought the board game. This is the collector's edition. It is currently just the box top because it is set up on my table downstairs. My wife and I played. We lost to the Act 2 boss last night, and so we reset it up, and we're going to be playing it again. Fantastic. I hope they do more Marvel Champions events in the future. Seemed a bit dry over the last few. I totally agree with you there. Yeah, I would love to see more events. When I first saw Slay the Spire, as the board game, I was a little hesitant on buying into the system just because of how much I like the video game, and I was like, is this going to detract from the video game? Would I rather just always be playing the video game? And what I have found, I've played through the first half of one act, played through the 2 acts, and now we're starting on a 3rd game. I really like the co-op nature and how they are putting in interactions between the players with the 1 to 4 player in this. And so very, very happy. It feels like I'm playing Slay the Spire, but new, because all the cards do something a little bit different just to kind of make it work for a physical game versus the digital implementation. You're not doing as much math, which is really, really nice. But I've been really happy with this. This is one that I'm going to be streaming at some point in the upcoming weeks because I love the video game, and I actually put out a video on a different channel that was talking about how I don't think I'm gonna go for the board game because of everything that I just kind of talked about with my reservations of like, am I just gonna want to play? I was absolutely incorrect. This is very solid. It's a very, very solid game. So we'll definitely be getting some streams of Slay the Spire. It's such a big game too. It's probably going to be sitting on my back shelf at some point just to showcase. But yeah, Slay the Spire, very happy. Only game that I bought. Definitely worth it. It was pretty pricey. I think after tax it came out to about $180. It is the collector's edition, so it comes with all like the metal coins, and I don't know what this comes with that the non-collector edition doesn't come with, but they only had the collector's edition. Matt is a little bummed that the Gin Gun promos are going to be so hard to find. Well, I potentially have good news for you. I don't want to put that there. I just hit another one of my games. We may have gotten a couple of extras for giveaways. So, there will be, here soon, a video where I'm going to be giving away both the Arkham and the Marvel Champions Gen Con promos. So make sure that you are following along. It's going to be a video that's posted on YouTube on how you can enter the giveaway, but I do plan on having this up within the next couple of weeks so I can send out some of these promos. But the promos for Marvel are the leaders for the different Civil War leaders, or the villains, I guess. And then the ones for Arkham are just like they look so cool. I really like the Arkham vibe and how they're looking. They're definitely like, I don't know, like almost like old school, like magazine feel. I don't know. Looks really, really solid. Slay the Spire board game is so good. You may also want to try Dead Cells. Oh, I have not tried Dead Cells. I'll definitely check it out. Sweet. Good luck. That's really nice of you. Yeah. So they, yeah. So I'm excited to give these out. Do you like that promo style compared to the hero promos? I do really like this style promo. I feel like it kind of embodies like a comic book style feel. I enjoy it. I think that this is pretty cool. I like that they are playing around and making the promos look different than the like, I don't know, then just all of them kind of looks very similar. And so like it's fun to see the different art styles that they have tried, and I think they're knocking. They knocked this out of the park. Also really good to see that they are doing promos again, because I had heard that they may be taking a slowdown on the promos. I probably will do the big wheel with the names again for promos. Yeah, I think that's probably the plan, Gorismo. So yeah, we'll figure out how to enter into that contest. We'll do the announcements and everything. But I do have 4 champions and then 3 Arkham promos that we will be giving away. That's the style of the Civil War. Oh, that's cool. That's a really fun little touch. So this is the style that they would put on like the Civil War, which is where these are from. Like these promos are for Civil War. I like that. That's a fun little lore drop information. Huh. That's cool. Nice. What's on the reverse of the leaders? It's kind of the just the villain backing, the purple backing. And then on the reverse of like the Arkham, I think it's like, I don't know, just I have not played the film scenario yet, so I actually don't know what these are. The trade paperback covers are designed like that. That's sick. That's a really cool shout out and style for this. That's fun. That makes me happy. Good stuff. Good stuff. What else? I wrote down a ton of stuff that I did. Oh, I got to play the new Arc Nova game that's coming out in like I think October timeframe, which is Sanctuary. So it's a new game in like the Arc Nova world. If you're familiar with Arc Nova, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not, you're kind of building a zoo, but also like supporting these conservation projects around the world. Ark Nova, I would consider like a fairly heavy, meaty game. This new one, which is called Sanctuary, is the way that I have to describe it is it's lighter than Ark Nova, but I would not consider it a light game. I would still consider it like a heavier, medium weight type game, and it's more tile placement than it is like card drafting. But you're basically drafting these hexagon tiles and you're placing them on your zoo with, and then based on how they get placed, they score differently. So maybe a tile will score for every like aquatic animal that it's near, or it has to be placed next to kind of one of the rivers on the side of the board, and then it's going to score additional points if it's has birds next to it. And all of these tiles are different. And then like there are some that you can pair up and get bonus points. It was really solid. I thought that it was very smooth. I think the overall gameplay length, probably an hour and a half to 2 hours would be my guess. We played through a full game. I think it took us about an hour and a half to play through the entire game. Great stuff. I really liked it. Plan on picking that one up when it comes out. It's way more approachable than Ark Nova, especially for those people who are not haven't played a ton of board games before. It was a good one. What's up, Edwin? How you doing? So yeah, Sanctuary was very, very solid. I think one of the bigger games of Gen Con kind of that came out was Lightning Train by Direwolf. I got to play that. I didn't get that game. It Ticket to Ride meets Orleans. Like if you've ever played any of those, it's a route building, it's a train game. It's a route building train game that has kind of a bag building mechanic where you're going to be drawing out of bags a la like Orleans or Quacks of Quedlinburg. You're going to be drawing out, and then whatever you draw out is kind of what actions you can take that round. It's the same designer as Clank, and it's the same designer as... what was the other game that he did? Dune Imperium. I would say that's very, very different game than Clank and or Dune Imperium. I enjoyed it. I think that it's a good game. I don't necessarily know. It was a good game. I don't necessarily know if it would have gotten all the hype if there were as many new big releases as there typically are at Gen Con. I felt like this Gen Con was fairly mild in the terms of how many games were released and how many big games were released. I think we saw a lot of like smaller games, and that's just tariffs. It's costing a lot of money to manufacture games right now, and so we're not seeing every single person or every single company have a ton of games. So a lot of like major publishers not come. Like Flat River Group wasn't there, the Op wasn't there. There's just a lot of people missing, and so I think we saw a lot more card games. We saw a lot of like small box games just because those manufacturing costs are just way less, and so you're paying tariffs on the cost of the board game rather than the price of the board game. And so we're seeing a lot more of those. And so this was one of the big releases, and I think that kind of like people were magnetized to, that big release and lining up, kind of rushing for that game right at the beginning of like the halls opening every day. It was really interesting. That I don't know. Like I feel like when I'm talking about this, I don't want to say it was not a good game because I led into like it felt like a little bit smaller. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun game. I don't know if I would buy it. I don't know if it's my style of game. I think as I'm kind of like learning my gaming preferences, I don't love train games that much in terms of route building. That being said, like the 18XX games where there's like a stock ownership element to it, I love that portion. But like from like a route building perspective, I'm not a big route building guy. So, yeah, I do love Orleans, so I enjoyed kind of the bag building mechanics and pulling them out. I thought there were some really cool like upgrade systems in it. That was a lot of fun, where like you could like there are specific tiles that go into like bonus slots rather than like your main slots. Like you have 5 main slots and you pull until those are full, but then you have 2 bonus slots, and so I guess they're probably balanced as like less efficient actions, but they don't take up one of your 5 main slots. You can like industrialize to get more of those blank slots. And so my strategy was kind of just trying to draw as many chips as possible, which was a lot of fun because I had so much flexibility on my turn. Um, Also, I thought there was gonna be magic in it. It's called Lightning Train. It's not. There's no magic. For whatever reason, in my mind, I was just like, we're gonna be mages on trains, and it just wasn't that. But yeah, Lightning Train was really fun. Just going through like thinking about everything that I got or that I talked about or saw that I didn't bring home. I got to see the box for Sail Legacy. That's a Kickstarter that just finished up. Sail is a 2-player trick-taking game that comes in a box, that the all-play box. If you're familiar, it's just a box about this big. But the Legacy is like a Lacerda box. I mean, it's my torso size, and that's going to be, they just finished the Kickstarter, so it's going to be a 2-player Legacy game, which that looked like a ton of fun. That all plays putting out so many games. They're reprinting a lot of games, which is cool. Like a lot of games that are a little bit harder to find. Those are coming out soon. I don't remember if I'm allowed to talk about them, so I'm just gonna not. But I really like what All Play is doing. We played a silly amount of the Gang. Has anyone played the Gang? This game, I picked this up at Origin, so it is not a Gen Con pickup. That being said, the expansion is, but the Gang is just a fantastic game. Matt says, I had heard Wonderland War by Druid City Games wasn't very well received, just way too chaotic. Wonderland War, is that like the Alice in Wonderland bag building like fight game? I'm pretty sure it is. I enjoyed it. I played it a while ago. It is chaotic. I would say that it felt long for how chaotic it was. Like, I think I like my level of chaos to be inversely proportional to the length of the game. So if it's going to be a super chaotic game, I don't want it to be very long, because I don't want to invest 3 hours into a game that can be swung really quickly. But it was a really good production. I haven't played that in a long time, though. That's a fun one. That's a fun shout to remember. But yeah, so the Gang is cooperative poker. And if you have not heard of this, you definitely should check it out. I think I paid $14 for this game, so it's really inexpensive, but it's just a deck of cards, and the way that you play is instead of betting, you're just trying to communicate by taking different chips. So you will have however many players you have that many chips in each color. And then you're going to go through different rounds. So like the white, just pretend like I had 4 chips for all of these. So the white, you would grab a chip based on your relative hand strength after you just see your pocket cards. So if you get dealt 2 aces, you're going to grab the 4 because you think you have the best hand at the table. If you have a 7-2 offsuit, you're probably grabbing this 1 because you probably have the worst hand at the table. Then you go into the flop. So you have 2 cards. You see 3 more, which are communal cards that everyone can play. And you'll grab the yellow chips. So if you have that 7-2 offsuit, but then you flop a 7-7-2, you're going to grab this 4 because your hand got way better. If you flop 2 more aces and you're the pocket ace player, you're going to fight them for this 4. And then you're going to get the turn, 1 more card, and then the river, which is that last card. And at that point, you're taking these red chips. The only one that actually matters in terms of like, are you going to win or lose, is the red. So after everyone has taken a red chip, the person with the 1 chip flips up their hand, and you have to reveal them in ascending power order. And we played so much of this game. It's my deck of cards is already pretty beat up, which unfortunately, it's just a deck of cards. So that's nice. But you can see which one what do you think is the cards versus the like the other cards that you don't necessarily play with. But yeah, we've been playing a ton of this. Kind of like Draper. I have not played Draper, but I did. I've heard really good things about it, but I have not played it, and so I would not be surprised if it is like it. But then you have like different tools and different, I forgot what they call them. Basically just different ways to modify the game. And so like this one is like fingerprint scan is before the player with the highest value red chip reveals their hand. All other players must confer and agree on what they believe that hand's ranking to be. And then if they get it right, then you still win. If you don't, then you lose. And so it makes it a little bit harder. It's so good. My partner's favorite travel game. All right, I'm going to have to check that out. Who is it by? Do you know? You know who it's by? So the Gang Mini Expansion 2, which is Tools of the Trade. I believe this came out at Gen Con. If not, then it came out like the day before Gen Con. But there's a couple of different modifications in it. You typically in a normal game, you have to get 3 wins before you get 3 losses. This adds a mode where you have to get 2 more wins, so 5 wins before you get 3 losses. And then it has a lot of these new tools, which are ways to modify different player powers. So like the crowbar says anytime before the showdown, you can reveal the crowbar card. If you are successful in the heist, you may turn 2 vaults to the gold side. So 2 games are 2 like tricks to win. But if you trigger an alarm, you must reveal an additional challenge card for the next heist. So there's just like different ways to modify the game, shake it up a little bit. Honestly, like I enjoy the tools. This game would be top tier even without them. So these are just added bonuses, and it's so good. GameWorks and Space Cowboys. Space Cowboys, such a good name. But yeah, I would highly recommend checking out the crew if you have not done so already. This is becoming one of my favorite games to just kind of fill in some time. We probably, I don't know, this was just the go-to game that we would play during the con. We played this a lot on Wednesday. I got up there on Wednesday. We played a ton on Wednesday. Then we played Spirit Island on Wednesday, so that was a good time. We lost, unfortunately. We were playing Sweden, I think. Sweden 5. Yeah, we got rolled on. It's a good time. And then we just played a silly amount of the gang. I was rooming with 3 other people, and I brought this. We played it on Wednesday, and all 3 of them bought it the next day. And so it was a vibe. But yeah, that's the gang. And then the tools of the trade, which said it was a mini expansion 2. So I don't know what mini expansion 1 is, but gang is a blast if you're looking for something like that to pick up, kind of like one of those filler games. Thinking in the like same realm as like the Crew or the Mind or something like that. Played a great deck builder called the Hungarians. Ooh, I have not heard about that. What's the Hungarians about? One of the other no, I bought a shirt. I've worn the Crispy Krabby shirt, which is like the Krispy Kreme donut. Oh, the Hunger. Got it. No, I still haven't heard of that. But I bought another Krispy Krabby, which is like the Krispy Kreme logo, because mine was been through the wash a couple too many times, as well as too big for me. So I bought another one just because I really enjoy that shirt and I like the company. But I did buy a notebook. So this is like a refillable notebook. I'm starting a Stormwalkers campaign. Or Stonewalkers campaign in the Stormlight Archive RPG system that just came out. And so I'm DMing the campaign. But so I wanted a notebook where I could write notes. And this is like one that's actually built for kind of players. So this is like dry erase here, which is pretty cool. And then there's like spell card slots. And then these are refillable notebooks. And so you can take these out and put new ones in. I was trying to debate between getting a grid line paper for like combat or blank just for free form. And this came with both. So the back half is blank, the front half is grid. So I was like, oh, perfect. And then it has like the Shire kind of on the front. But yeah, so really happy with this. The refill packs are super inexpensive too, like $5. So I was just like, yeah, that'll work really, really well. Because I wanted something just as I'm GMing. I need to write stuff down because I'll be able to remember just so much better. The Hunger is a vampire one by Richard Garfield. You play as vampires terrorizing the town and eating people. Area control deck building. Okay. That's cool. Kind of like a complex Clank, but with vampires. Interesting. Richard Garfield has an amazing track record, so I don't doubt that it's fantastic. It's very push your luck. Nice. Okay. Nice. Yeah. What was? I feel like I played a push your luck game recently. I don't remember what that was. Yeah. Yeah, Richard Garfield has a decent portfolio out there. He did make Lord of the Rings Tokyo. Yeah. Nice. The one of the funny or more fun things is Slam Throne. So the people who made Dice Throne came out with Pogs. So Slam Throne is effectively just Pogs. But this came out. We played a match. I played a match with Ryan from Man vs. Meeple on Thursday. But basically, it's a pack which has a hero as well as your Pogs. And I cannot do this for the life of me. But you have your stack and you throw these, and you're trying to get them to flip over. Oh, I guess they go this way, but I can't get them to flip over. Oh, there we go. There's 3. Apparently there was a lot of pressure when we were filming, and I couldn't get any of them to flip over. But then each one of these has like their own ability. So like the passive ability on the Barbarian, which is the one I opened here. Focus. There you go. He has a ton of health. Passive ability says at the start of your turn, I can flip and call, and if I get the side correct, I can heal 1. And then on a catch, which is like if I hit and then I'm able to catch before it hits the ground, I can attack a second time, but I can only deal a max of 5 damage. And then I can't stun twice in a row. But, well, that went everywhere. Yeah, so this was fun. I love Dice Throne. This, I think they were $10 or something a pack. So it was nice and affordable, and it was just fun to, look at that. 1 damage. I was not familiar with Pogs. I had not played Pogs before, but I know it was nostalgic for a lot of people. Aha. But did any of y'all play Pogs growing up? Any tips on how to actually get these to flip over? I forgot. I played against Ryan, who had like the Ranger or something. I don't actually remember what his ability was. Yeah, I'm not good at this at all. But I had a fun time with the Pogs. It was just kind of silly. I saw a lot of people just like walking around, challenging. Oh, I was playing a game. Actually, I was playing the gang at the hotel one night, and somebody was having a Beyblade tournament right behind us. Dude, it was so hype. It was so much fun. They would they'd do like the let 'em rip, and like they would all like scream whenever it finished. It was. I love Gen Con. Gen Con's just like a time where you just have so much excitement around like nerd culture and everyone's a part of it. Blast. Pogs making a comeback. Heck yeah. Nice. Got some new Final Girl stuff. Final Girl from Van Ryder Games. Played that on the channel a good bit. I'm gonna keep playing that just because I really like it. It's a solo only game. Let's hop down to the table. So we got The Mort and the Teenage Dirtbag. This one, I'm pretty sure this one's a promo. Um, but it is at the board game con is like the location, and so every single one of these boxes comes with a. I guess we can just pop it open. Comes with a final girl, which is kind of an asymmetric power. It comes with a killer, and then it comes with a location. And so the killer here is Mort, the teenage dirtbag, and they have their own like cards and different abilities and everything. And then on the other side, it's their magnetic lids. You have the location, and the location on this one is a board game convention, which I love it. It's so good. And so you can mix and match all of these. So if you wanted to, you could play like the puppeteer at board game con, but there's like the main hallway, which is connected to just, I don't know. There's Stonemeyer. There's just like a lot of like fun little call outs. This looks like leader games, but it's follower games. And so like there's just like a lot of little Easter eggs in there. Arcane Wonder kind of shout out. Capstone. Come on, see many or not. Inside Up. This is Outside Down. So Inside Up games is Outside Down games on here. So I think that was a super fun, like, I don't know, just it was fun. And so I'm excited to try that. That'll be in the next couple of weeks. I also got the Final Girl starring Billy the Bear at Buddyland. I think this one has been out for a little bit at least. I would say maybe a couple months. But I don't know if it's a part of any season necessarily, because usually when they release Final Girl expansions, they're a part of a season. They just finished season 3. So I'm not sure if this is part of any season. I probably should have looked that up, but we got the bear. Oh my gosh, that is one creepy looking bear right there. Look at that thing. I don't like it. And then we've got Buddyland. So Billy the Bear at Buddyland. So 2 new scenarios for Final Girl. And then the thing that I'm most excited about with Final Girl is, oh, this has that treatment. I wonder if the promo packs have kind of like this shiny treatment on the Final Girl, because I know the Santa one has that as well. The thing that I'm most excited about when it comes to Final Girl, Meg got a promo. Isn't that cool? So Professor Meg, who has played Arkham, played Champions on the channel before, good friend of mine, she got a Final Girl promo. And so they'll do promos of different females in the space. I know like Jamie, who has worked with Van Ryder before from Foster the Meeple. I almost forgot their channel name. Foster the Meeple. She has a promo. Paula Dimming has a promo. But yeah, so Meg has her own promo. It's, I think, the first like shiny. So Five Nights at Freddy's is Mort Scream. Is it? I actually don't know. I haven't seen. I think I can see it Scream. Yeah, I think it does look like Scream, but it kind of looks like a teenage like melodramatic version of Scream. So yeah, that's Five Nights at Freddy's. I haven't seen Five Nights at Freddy's actually. And yeah, this is like a teenage. Also, this is one of the killers. This is one of the killers from season 3 here on the box art. I just noticed that. Yeah, this is the first like holographic card I think I've seen for Final Girl. And so Meg, if you know of Meg, she always has like crazy cool hair, and so it's fun to see like that kind of stylized in a holo card. Oh geez. But her mini has her little doggo, Mifa, who is her item card. So whenever you beat a scenario with a Final Girl, they have like a special item card. Her special item card is Mifa, which is her dog who comes to most of the cons with her. And so that's really fun to see that. really cool to see that. So that was one of the promos that they came out. They came out with another promo that I did not get. I don't even remember who it was. It was a TTRPG content creator. I don't follow a ton of TTRPG players. But Final Girl new stuff, I will definitely going to get probably going to BGG-Con playing Meg. I think that'd be fun. She did a live play like in their room where she played herself and had like a live audience watching, which was really cool. She does a lot of content around Final Girl as well. And so I thought that was pretty fun as well. The other thing that we got from Van Ryder is this game called Keepers. And so I have not played this game, but I have made friends with Byron. And I did not realize, but Byron's like, I've been a nature photographer for pretty much his entire life, over 45 years. And so this is a game that utilizes not all, but all of the art in this game is Byron's photography. And so he works at Van Ryder as well, but this is an entire game that showcases his art, which I thought was really cool. And so it was fun to talk with him because I've done a lot of photography. I really enjoy that artistic style as well. And so it was fun to chat with him about nature photography and then seeing his game. And then I also got the expansion, which is the Moments expansion, which also includes all art from him. But I'm breaking this open just because I'm curious to see what it looks like. Oh, that's so pretty. Can you imagine just having a life where you're able to just go and like take these beautiful photos? Nice little mat. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. Looking for the art. Honestly, no idea how this plays. I don't know if it's soloable. My guess is that it would be just because it's Van Ryder. But I'm a sucker for good art. Has anyone tried any other games other than Final Girl from Van Ryder? I know I've done Gateway Island, which is a cool, like, here's a game that teaches you all the mechanics of all the other games. That's the cover. Oh, that's a moose. Moose are huge. Meese. What's the plural of moose? Mooses? Oh, that's pretty. It's just really cool to have that as part of the game. It's just like, oh, as all the art. Musai. I do believe that is it. It's Musai. Got a neoprene mat in here. Really cool stuff. I'm gonna do some more research on how this actually plays, and we'll talk about it a little bit more. Plural of moose is moose. Moose. I didn't put anything back in the box. Plural of moose is moose. Nice. Gen Con, wow, looks insane. Do we find out the final ticket sales? It did sell out. So it sold out before Gen Con started, I believe like the Thursday before. A group of meese in the lake. As a proud Canadian, the plural of moose is meeses. I love it. I that is now what it is. It is now meeses. Gen Con sold out. I don't know if we have the final number of attendees. My guess would be around 80,000. Is I think that typical sellout number for the Indie Convention Center. And so that would be my guess. It would be around 80,000 people. It felt crowded. Thursday felt like a couple years ago Saturday, and like kind of post COVID, there was kind of a drop off in attendance just because 80,000 people in one space. So there's a kind of a drop off of attendance, but I think it felt way more crowded than it has in the past years. Like Saturday, it was just hard to get through the hall. Like there were so many people, just shoulder to shoulder, just kind of like bustling through, trying to get space. I think that we are probably, or they are probably pretty close to wanting to expand or go elsewhere. They sold out. I think they've sold out. I know they sold out the 50th year. So my guess is that they will go somewhere else at some point, just because I think it is kind of expanding. If you like keepers, you may like Karmaka. That's actually one of the first games I ever kickstarted. Isn't that kind of wild? It's like one of the, I think it was that, and I don't even remember. It was a game by Keymaster Games. Oh, I don't remember exactly what it was. Oh, yeah, the game has stunning art. Karmaka, yeah. I thought that was a lot of fun. I gave it to one of my friends who really liked it, and so I was able to pass that along to somebody who was going to be able to get it to the table more frequently than I. But yeah, really busy, really busy con for sure. Okay, let's talk about, what do we want to talk about? Let's talk about BCW. So, I talked with BCW, who is kind of a card storage, card accessory, card protection, or game protection type of company. They do a lot of like the boxes, like the white cardboard boxes that I use to store a lot of my games. Then they also have like dice trays and stuff like this. What I'm really excited about is that we are going to be working together. And so soon, actually, I think now, because they're really fast and it's fun to work with a company that is that quick on the draw. But right now, I don't have the link available because I didn't put it in here. But there's going to be an affiliate link for BCW, and the it's going to provide 10% off of any orders, as well as a commission rate to me. And so once I have a little bit more information about that, I will post it. But I've been using the BCW stuff for a while. I've been using their card boxes. I know that one of my buddies that from the Hills Have Nerds podcast, they have like those like more solid like card row boxes. They're like plastic, and he swears by them. He's like, I dropped them and everything was fine. And so like I'm excited to try some of that. They made like a board game or a card game backpack, which is really cool. Where it's a backpack that's made to fit like deck boxes and stuff, so you can carry it around to cons. So I should have a video. Well, once they are out of them, which is cool. Yeah, the Hills Have Nerds are really fun. I like them a lot. But so they sent me home with a couple of things. We got a dice tray. We've got, this is actually pretty cool. I thought it was like a token holder similar to like the game Genic stuff. So like I use like these token boxes to hold like all of my LCG accessories, but these actually work with cards as well. And so this is like a padded surface here. And so decks of cards fit into this slot, and it's actually a deck holder. Isn't that wild? So I thought it was a token holder, but it's not. It's actually like I wonder if the sleeves fit, or the sleeve boxes fit in here. Okay, it's a little big, but I guess that comes out, so you can do it like that if you want. But it holds 4 decks in here, which I thought was pretty cool. And then here are your tokens there, and then put pins or whatever up in here. I thought that was I just thought it was a similar product to the game Genic, but being able to hold decks in here is pretty interesting. And then the last thing is these token holders. Watched your storage video from a while and got the giant BCW card storage box. They have been a game changer for playing Marvel Champions. That's awesome. Yeah. That's really fun to hear. They They hold a lot of cards. Those things you have to be careful, especially if you get like the five, one, two, 4 row ones. Like you can throw your back out. They get pretty heavy. They had a newer product that is a drawer style system where like instead of like the top coming off, it's drawers, and it actually fits in a Calic shelf, which is the shelf that's right behind me. And so it fits in one of those, and then you have like card drawers. And so they're sending me one of those for me to check out, but I think that's how I'm going to be storing like my Star Wars Unlimited cards, because right now, heck, we can probably do this. Just kidding, it's way too heavy. So right now I have this is a BCW box here that I've stored like a lot of my Star Wars in, and this is in a like a 3x4 holder, and so there's 12 of these like single row boxes that slide in and out of there. But the plastic is just like a nicer quality, and so I'm gonna try that. And then my wife drew the symbols on each one of these. But this is like, if you're familiar with this is the BCW box, and then like the one that I store like my Champions cards in. There's like 4 rows of these, but great for Lacana and Magic the Gathering as well. Yeah. They have a lot of stuff. One of the cooler things that I had never seen before, they have like these magnetic card display, like wall art displays. And so it is time to hydrate. Thank you. Drop it. Where you can put a single card in. They also have like a version for graded cards, so slabbed cards. And then like you can create like a mosaic on your wall and like display your cards in like a protective sleeve, which I thought was really cool. I got the Game Genic blue felt deck box that has 4 rows for Marvel. Oh, okay, yeah. It works amazing for storing current decks and campaigns. BCW suggests for your storage too. Nice. The Game Genic stuff is really, really clean. I'm gonna open these. I use the heck out of these things. The only other time I've bought these, I bought them from Board Game Geek. And so these are token holders. Whenever we have a game day, we play like one thing, or one game downstairs, one game upstairs. And then we always have to fight over who gets the token holder. So now we have more. That display thing sounds awesome. I got some cool Kajudo cards that I could put in that. Nice. Yeah. That'd be awesome. Yeah. That's one of the things that I'm gonna hopefully have them send me, just because like I have a couple of cards and I want to put them up in this room, because I just think that they're really cool. I think they are magnetic, and so like you can create like a 3x2 row and have 6 of them. It comes with 6. The package comes with 6. But yeah, I'll see if they can send me over some of those, and I'll showcase those again, or not again, I guess for the first time. The fold-out box top can also sub for a playmat. That's cool. Yeah, I feel like the card storage game has really been upped in the last couple of years. Game Genic, BCW, they've really been designing some products that I feel like are tailor-made for card gamers, and like you can tell that like they know what they're doing, and they're putting in some really cool like options. And like I have one that like the top turns into a dice tray, and I was like, that's just cool. Like, have I used it? No, but it's fun. It's cool. But yeah, these are really nice, just kind of for tokens. I love them. Just need one good one for all Marvel Legendary. I mean, all of it sleeved. Yeah, you're gonna need a fork truck to help carry it around. But yeah, so I'm really excited about the BCW partnership. Their affiliate program is pretty impressive. Yeah, it's 10% off if you use like my code, which I think is all over 10, but hold on, don't use it yet because I need to confirm that. But yeah, 10% off the order. which is really good. And then I get a 5% commission. So if you use the link, not only are you getting money off of your order, but I also am getting 5% of the order to the channel, which is nice. And then what's really cool is that if you just use, if I'll have a link, and if you just use that link to go browse, I get like some money just for you using that link, just to look at. You don't even have to buy anything. And so I'm excited. I've been using them a lot, and I always feel a little bit. I feel nice when I get to partner with somebody that I like their product and I've been using their product for a while. And so this is definitely one of those, because I have a lot of their boxes around. I've spent, there's a lot of cardboard boxes with BCW printed on the side of it, but really quality stuff. But yeah, the display stuff, that backpack is really cool. I'm hoping to get the backpack in time for MCDC in October, but they had one backpack left. Not at Gen Con, just their entire company had one left because they sold out of their first print run just like real quick. So good for them. The backpack is really, really slick. And so I'm hoping to get one for MCDC, because I think it's just going to be a perfect way to travel to that with cards. So, but yeah, so I'm very excited about this partnership. Just another way to help support the channel, and it's fun. But yeah, these things, these token holders, we use the heck out of these things. I like them a lot. Then they fold right back, or you can just undo them and they fold and they travel real easily. So cool stuff. But yeah, that's the BCW partnership and all of that. The bit trace. I'm just taking like all of the wrapping and just throwing it. So after this stream, I'm gonna have a ton of stuff to pick up off the floor. But it's off camera, so we're good. It's off camera. We don't need it. Alrighty, where do we want to go next? What are we looking at? I always go to Gen Con with the intent of not bringing a ton of stuff home. We did it. Oh my gosh, Gen Con's so much fun. I got Fantastic Factories. Has anyone played this game? Fantastic Factories? It's a game from Deepwater Games, and it is now being published by Friendly Skeleton Games. But Deepwater Games, Friendly Skeleton Games, the owner, him and I really like the owner. I think he's a lot of fun. He gave me Fantastic Factories to try out. I've played a demo of it, but I've not actually ever played a full game. But it's like this engine building dice placement game where it's an engine builder. It's a lighter weight engine builder that you use dice to activate the buildings in your engine. And you're building a fantastic factory. It has a solo mode, so we may get it to the stream at some point. But I've heard really good things about the game, and so I always need to like set something to open up like boxes near me during these streams. But yeah, Fantastic Factories. Yeah. It's also just kind of fun art. Dual layer player board, you gotta love it. Yeah, card-based engine building type game. Yeah, 45 to 60 minutes. The other thing that I've really kind of realized about myself over the last, 3-4 years, is that I do like those bigger games, like the meaty games, the Lacerdas, the 3-hour-long games. I just don't get to play them. It's just a huge commitment. And so anything that can give me like a pretty crunchy experience in like an hour or like an hour and a half, I've been kind of gravitating towards those types of games just because they're a lot easier to get to the table. And so Fantastic Factories, I'm pretty excited to try it out and see how it compares to some of those like longer games, because I just love engine builders, but in kind of that condensed format. Oh, those are pretty big dice actually. Nice. So that's Fantastic Factories. Friendly Skeletons. Yeah, okay. It's like, can I reach it? I can. They also have like the greatest like bag. So it's Friendly Skeleton, and Games with Good Bones is their motto, and I think that's just hilarious. Games with good bones, friendly skeleton. Yeah. So I'm interested because a lot of the times also like games will say it's an hour and then it ends up taking two. But I have heard that this is actually pretty true to kind of maybe that hour long length, which is really enticing. Has solo rules. Um, but yeah. One of the guys that I stayed with had played this and really enjoyed it, and so I'm looking forward to breaking this out. I usually do get like some of the games played before this stream, but Slay the Spire commandeered the table very quickly. Um, so we got to put some dice into this thing just to see if the holder works and holds up. But yeah, the Slay the Spire, we played a lot of that. Beautiful. Yeah, I love these things. If you don't have these things, I would definitely check them out. I also have the other thing that I use. I use silicone muffin like wrappers. So like reusable muffin wraps that are silicone that can be baked. I use those for token holders as well. So you can get those like super inexpensive. I like these guys for like tokens that have like multiple different like current, like if you have like threes, fives, ones in there, these are a little bit easier to pick out, especially what you want. But if you have like cubes or something, I usually do those in like the like silicone muffin tin, and then those are just really easy to grab as well. And so board game organization is a game in and of itself. That's Fantastic Factories. Oh, there was a con. I don't exactly remember where it was, but they did a competition on who could make the best fart or box fart noise. Isn't that funny? Alrighty. We got a game called Hissy Fit. This is a cooperative card game that it's a game where you're effectively trying to take your cat to the vet without getting scratched up too much. What's up, Board Game Bard? How's it going? I thought this was tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be playing through Trickster Takeover. We have not unboxed it, so we're about to unbox it. But tomorrow we're going to be playing through Trickster Takeover. But I'm happy you're here. I've talked a little bit about Trickster. We have not unboxed it. We're going to unbox that. We have this and two other games, and then we're going to dive in and start unboxing this stuff. Yeah, I'm fantastic. How are you? So Hissy Fit is a smaller publisher from Stone Age Games, but I've kind of been talking with them and working with them on like the other side of things, and I thought this was really cool because you have like a cat meeple that is kind of like where like your actions are taking place and it's cooperative. But the cool thing about it is that it comes blank, but it comes with a sheet of stickers so that you can make your cat meeple look exactly like your cat. So it comes with like all of these different stickers. And so you can take and apply the cat meeple to it so that it looks like your cat at home. And I just thought that was the cutest little thing. Stone Age Distractions? Yeah. Yes, yeah. Stone Age Distractions. Yeah. And so this is like a 20-minute solo game. So we're going to stream this at some points here coming up. But I just thought it was really super cute. I didn't miss it. Awesome. Did you enjoy Gen Con? Yes. Gen Con was fantastic. Gen Con was a blast. So much done. So very productive. Ton of fun. I am tired, but we're good. So bummed we didn't get any news or an article. Yeah, I'm wondering if, I don't know. I'm guessing every week that we don't get one, it makes it more likely that we're going to get one the next week. So I thought I really wanted to play Stone Age. Then I did and had such a crunchy, slow, boring game. Yeah. It's one of those like old classic games that, yeah. But yeah. I'm wondering if we'll get an article soon. They did say that in the Champions panel, which was on Friday, I want to say, we did get confirmation that I think Daredevil and Namor are going to be some of the mod sets that are coming in, but there really wasn't any like new information that came out about the upcoming expansions in the designer panel. Designer panel was really good. It was kind of like a crowdsourced question and answer, and so that was fun. Anyone have any suggestion to a game like Stone Age? Worker placement, food stuff, viticulture is wine, and really good worker placement. Just not the wine one. Okay, well here we are. That was really funny. Are you checking out Brand's event at the Portal for Civil War this September? Architects of the West Kingdom, I've heard really good things. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it up to the Portal for Civil War. I need to not travel for a little bit. I've been traveling so much. I've had like one weekend in the last like 3 months that I've been home. And so I'm going to MCDC in October. And so that's going to be one. I'm going to PAX U. And then I have like some just like day trips. But I think I don't think I'm going to be able to make it. Contrary to popular belief, I don't make a ton of money doing this, so I need to figure out my travel. Yeah, Architects is really good. Everdell is a really good worker placement game. Agricola is a fantastic worker placement game. I'm trying to think of other worker placement games that I really enjoy. Underwater Cities, I think, is really good. Dune Imperium is a fantastic worker placement. Yeah, Dune Imperium is really solid. Oh my gosh, that is a really good app and like digital implementation already. You're gonna try for MCDC next year? Sweet, nice. I wonder if Daredevil as a hero may not be that far off if there's a mod set. Either that or they're just trolling us at this point. I feel like they just have to be messing with this at this point. I feel like when they put out a hero that was a villain, it's not super long afterwards. Yeah, nice. Oh. Thank you for the follow, Board Game Bard. I appreciate it. Flamecraft is kind of a neat take on worker placement. I've heard good things. I've not tried Flamecraft, but I've heard really good things about Flamecraft. Targi, okay. Magneto getting made before Beast made me question. I'm hyped for MCDC. It's gonna be awesome. I'm really excited for it. It's gonna be a good time. Worker placement. Champions of Midgard. I've heard really good things about that. I've not played it, but Dwellings of Everdell. No, Everdell. Champion. Your favorite is Champions. Nice. Yeah, Dune Imperium is really solid. I think Dune Imperium is very good. Alrighty, Dwellings of Eldervale. Yeah, okay. I was like, I think I got 2 of those worker placements mixed up. Everdell is fun. That old Waterdeep one was cool. Yeah, Lords of Waterdeep. I have not played that since college. Holy cow. When you have all the expansions for it, it really changes the game. Are you talking about for Waterdeep? I did skip for Midgard, as it was so busy. Gotcha. Yeah, Underwater Cities is another really good, solid worker placement game. It's also kind of a like tableau. It's like it's kind of similar to Agricola. What is Trickster Takeover? Trickster Takeover is the new Marvel Champions expansion. So it's a massive multiplayer expansion. Which means that you can play with basically infinite number of players, and each one of your groups is contributing to like an overall global threat to take out Loki. Lords of Waterdeep would be a great game night. Yeah, just got the complete collection box for Everdell. Oh my gosh, that's something you could throw your back out lifting. That would be something. I had Everdell for a little bit. I ended up trading it for viticulture just because like we were trying to figure out which one we wanted in our collection. We ended up with viticulture, but Everdell, I enjoyed Everdell. I like viticulture more than Everdell, but hence the trade. But yeah, Everdell looks just so pretty on the page. Don't need a set of free weights now. Let's go. So that they made 3 new Everdell games as well. Oh really? I know there's Far Shore. That was big news for a while. Small 2-player one. Is that Everdell Duo? I think they did Everdell Duo. Not 100% sure when that came out. But yeah. Let's talk about 2 more games and then we'll unbox some of the Marvel stuff. Who are you taking against Trickster Takeover tomorrow? I think I'm gonna do Thor just for the vibes. Silver Frost is new. I have heard that now. I have heard Silver Frost. Yeah. So Fight 5 is, I have not tried it, but it's effectively like souped up war. It's like a redesigned war. Duo has been out for a couple of months. Got it. Have you tried Duo, Trap It? Because I think Duo is a standalone game. It's not just an expansion to, like the base game, the base Everdell. It's its own thing. Also, Fight 5. I can't look at this and not think it's just like a fancy package for like 5 gum. Like, doesn't that just like look like the 5 gum packaging? Yeah, I think it's a pretty simple, quick, be the first to 200 points, quick card game, and then you're basically playing like war out of 5 piles, and so it's not necessarily just like a random flip or a random draw. It's more of a little bit more strategic. So you're playing like against different stacks, and so depending on the number of players determines how many stacks you're playing on. You haven't tried it yet? Thought about it. It's its own thing. It has like 4 Oh, okay. That's cool. How chewy are the cards? Do they compare to the gum as well? I don't know. Yeah. I would say it's pretty close. If you wanted to, you could probably chew on the cards and have a fairly decent time. That's Fight 5. The other one is Neon Rain. This is such a fun idea of a game. It's a 1v1 battler. I think it also has a solo mode, but it's a 1v1 battler. But it's a arcade style game where you're like playing a fighter, and the cards you're playing are buttons that you're hitting on the arcade, trying to pull off combos to like do like your ultimate fight moves and stuff. So it's like Tekken type situation, and so you can like. There's the solo deck. Yeah, so like here's A. So like you're playing these cards to like, I guess. Well, there you go. There's the shuffle, the combo breaker. You got A's. You got blocks and just like different like cards that you can play. Like move the joystick to the left, and then I think here they are. Universal Combat. Let me find the. And then here's like the people you can play. I love the art style in this. Button mash. When playing 3 buttons, add 2 damage. So if you're just smashing buttons, you get damage. So they're asymmetric as well. There's a lot of fighters in here. Holy cow, I was not expecting there to be this many fighters. If an opponent blocks one of your buttons, gain a star. Stuff like that. So I thought that was a fun like kind of idea for a game. To like, and then so it does have a solo deck, so it looks like you're battling against like an AI or something. But yeah, just like the idea that you're playing cards to mash buttons to trigger combos. Just like super nostalgic. Is anyone a arcade kid? I didn't play a ton of arcade games. There was a lot at. We would go to Cece's Pizza and play this. Yeah, this guy, nice. Go to Cece's Pizza and play a ton. There's some more cards. It looks like. That was fun, but there it was the. What was that game? Was it Crisis Protocol? Is that the one where you like had like the foot pedal and you would like duck and stuff? TMNT and X-Men. Nice. Yeah. Good time. I feel like we're in a world where like Arcades could come back. Street Fighter, nice. Yeah, Street Fighter, heck yeah. Um, but yeah, I just thought that was a fun one. Neon Night Games. I love this art style. Like this like art, like I don't even like the neon colors. I'm just a sucker for it. Okay. Let's unbox some stuff. Let's unbox Trickster Takeover. See what's going on here. So Trickster Takeover is coming out I think August 15th. They did send home a couple of copies with some reviewers from Gen Con, so I'm super grateful for Fantasy Flight for that, so thank you. But we're gonna box this open. Wow, words are hard. We're gonna unbox this, and then we are going to we're gonna play it tomorrow. We're gonna play Thor versus Loki, and I'm thinking that we may do Valkyrie versus Enchantress. Or we may find something else to do versus Enchantress. This is a scenario pack, so I'm happy to see that we are getting more scenario packs than we have been in the past. I feel like we've missed a scenario pack drop in the last couple waves, and so it's nice to see a scenario pack just because I really like the swings that they take with the design space and scenario packs, and this one being the massive multiplayer. And then Enchantress is a really unique scenario. I wouldn't say that there's a ton of like big swings with Enchantress, but Loki being the massive multiplayer is the big swing, right? Can we get close-ups on the 1A on both scenarios? Of course. I just have to like stall until I can open this because there's a lot of pressure opening this on stream. So, but yeah, I got to play the Loki scenario at the massive multiplayer. Fantastic. Really thought that the massive multiplayer worked, or epic multiplayer is what they're calling it, worked really well for it. And I have not played Enchantress. This was the demo that they were running at the booth though. Leadership Scarlet Witcher Aggression Magic versus Enchantress would be funny. Justice Thor versus Loki is awesome. Nice. Yeah. So how many cards is this? 78 card scenario pack. So 2 scenarios. We did get to play with, and we'll see them as we go through them, but the new mod set where after you defeat the minion, you get the ally version. That was pretty cool. Do you think they will add epic multiplayer to the new releases? I don't think it's going to be something that we see with every new release, but during one of the things that they said in the Champions panel when they were talking about it is that it is something that they would be interested in revisiting in the future, but I would not expect to see all of the new releases having a massive multiplayer mode. Alrighty. Let's look at Loki. So Loki is the massive multiplayer, and the way that it's set up, I'm just going to try and explain it. Let's see if I can explain it. For whatever reason, I have not enjoyed Justice Thor, even with the cards in Shuri's pack. I don't feel like I have enough damage for the villain and the minions. That's fair. Are you playing like true solo mode mostly, or are you playing like multiplayer? So there's epic multiplayer, there's pods. We have a Worlds Collide and a Loki God of Lies. So this is kind of how the game is set up. True solo. Yeah. That's fair. I like using the hammer throws for the villain. And then it's a slower paced game when I'm playing true solo. Hammer throws for the villain is a pretty decent damage potential. Figured if it was successful, we'd see massive multiplayer once every... That sounds about right, yeah. So, Loki God of Lies is kind of the main Loki that we are fighting. So, Loki God of Lies here says that if Loki God of Lies has 10 health per player or fewer remaining, flip this card. This is per player in the entire game. So our Loki, when we played him on Thursday, had 480 health. So when he hit 240 health, we flipped Loki. How do you deal damage to Loki? You attack his avatar. And so every single pod is fighting one of these 4 avatars. And similar to like the Loki that we have in Mad Titan Shadow, they are popping in and out and changing and doing weird Loki Trickster things. But whenever you defeat a Loki, we'll show this one, Loki the Miscreant. This is B1. 1 scheme, 2 attack. As a forced response, after you resolve a treachery, place 1 threat on the main scheme and 1 threat on a side scheme. We were playing that wrong. I put it on every side scheme. Whoops. Okay. Read the card, Nelson. So whenever you would defeat him, he comes in with 15 hit points per player, and 15 hit points per player is for your group. So we had 4 players, so he had 60 health. This does not have 480 health. When the villain would be defeated, we place 5 shatter counters per player here and flip this card instead. So you flip the card, and it becomes a fading figment, and all of the fading figments are the same on each side. The art's a little different. They're like different colors, but the text is all the same. And it says, when revealed, shatter the illusion. Choose a group in your pod, place synergy counters on their feigned retreat. Okay, so you do place synergy counters on different environments. I'm just lying to y'all today. Place synergy counters on different environments equal to the number of players in their group. Then you have Shatter the Illusion. So this is kind of the text that describes how you're actually dealing damage to like the Loki God of Lies, the main Loki. So this says, when a fading figment is revealed, follow these steps to Shatter's Loki Illusion. We're going to remove each shatter counter from fading figment and deal that much damage to Loki God of Lies. So minimum in our group of 4, we were dealing 20 damage whenever we flipped the fading figment. Then we swap the fading figment with a random set aside Loki, and then set the hit point value to its printed hit point value, and then deal every player an encounter card. So fading figment flips over. We deal minimum 20 damage, but it's a little bit more because a lot of the cards in this deck add shatter counters to Loki. There's some pretty mean cards in here. And so like whenever you would take out like Malakath, we'll go through each one of these, but Malakath, the when defeated down here, you place 2 shatter counters on the avatar of Loki villain. So next time you flip them, you're dealing 22 damage to Loki God of Lies. And so it's like this fun push and pull of we need to deal damage to Loki. We can only do that when we take out the different illusions or the avatars. And yeah, the synergy of placing the counters on different schemes was a ton of fun. I'm going to pull those out so we can look at those as well. But that'll be next. So 1A for Mischief and Mayhem as a close-up. Here we go. This is 1A. I think this is what we're hoping to look for. So setup, after resolving Worlds Collide, we're going to put a random avatar of Loki into play, set each other side of Loki outside, put each synergy environment into play. In standard mode, set the intense focus attachment outside. In expert mode, we're going to attach it to Loki. So there is a way to play expert and standard, and you can have different pods doing different things. So if the table next to you wants to play expert and you want to play standard, you absolutely can. It does not modify anything outside of your game group, which is pretty cool. Then we have Mischief and Mayhem. So this threats out at 8 per player. It goes up by 1 every single round. When this scheme would be completed, we're going to remove all threat from here and place 1 threat on Worlds Collide instead. Worlds Collide is kind of the overall main scheme. So Worlds Collide, we're creating a separate group, yada, yada, yada. But on here, we threat out at 2 threat per pod. And so that symbol up here is a newer symbol. It counts the total number of groups in all pods. So we had, I think 7. So this would have thwarted out at 14. So whenever this pops, you add a threat here. And so basically whenever someone gets knocked out or whenever the main scheme in any group pops, we're adding kind of this overall threat to Worlds Collide, which could be a way that the collective loses the game. Because this also says when identity would be defeated, change that identity's form to alter ego, set its hit point value to 1, and place 1 threat on Worlds Collide instead. So it's also another nice thing that you don't get kicked out of the game if you get defeated. So that's nice. The 4 synergy environments, these are the permanent environments. So these are out here. There's a lot of like kind of like permanent stuff on the board. But once you got playing it, it really was pretty easy to keep up with. You have, do you think it's simple enough to, oh yeah. Yeah, I think it's easy to do true solo. We'll do a true solo tomorrow. And hopefully I keep that same outlook on it, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty easy to do true solo. So each one of these is a synergy card. They're all permanent, and you can place synergy counters on it. You can have max 1 per player, which would be in our group of 4. And as an interrupt, when an identity would take any amount of damage, we can remove a synergy counter to prevent 4 of that damage. And so whenever you're placing synergy counters out on these environments, you're giving them to other pods or yourself, and you can then use the ability that they have, or that the tokens have. There are cards in the deck that will also add tokens, but it's really fun to be able to like reach over to the table that you're sitting next to and be like, hey, put a counter on Feigned Retreat. And it's like, okay, so now they have a little bit of protection from being knocked out. Unified Front generates 2 wild resources per synergy counter, which is very helpful, especially if you're running a hone technique or something. You got Mounting Resistance. This one we used a lot. We had a ton of threat in our game. I think that was the lack of a Justice player kind of helped with the excess amounts of threat. But this one, whenever you make a basic thwart, or whenever I'm sorry, not a basic thwart, whenever you make a thwart, you can remove 4 additional threat by removing a counter here. So that helped us just clear some side schemes. It helped us clear the main scheme. We got up to almost popping the main scheme. We got up to, what was it? It was 32. We got up to 31. It was wild. And then Domineering Force is very similar to Mounting Resistance, except it's for attack, so it can deal 4 additional damage. I'm excited to try Domineering Force with like 1x1s and stuff, because now a 1x1 is 6 and 6 damage, which is a lot more effective than like 3 and 3. Or 2 and 2, I'm sorry. And so these are kind of cool. And then being able to give them out to other groups was a ton of fun, because you'd be like, okay, you get a counter on Domineering Force, and they're like, thank you. Yes. Okay. Now we can actually take out this minion, because the minions in this deck are brutal. But before we talk about the minions, I do want to go through the other Avatar of Loki's, because they are also not very nice. So we talked about the Miscreant, who places threats whenever we resolve a treachery. We have Loki the Rascal. After you resolve a boost card, if that card is a treachery, deal it to yourself as a face down encounter card, or spend a resource of any type. Very mean, Loki the Rascal. And then they all have 15 health per player. Loki the Knife. I'm going to call him the Knife. Loki the Knife. I think it's the Knave, but yeah. After you resolve a treachery, deal 1 damage to your identity and 1 damage to an ally you control. And like we very quickly realized that we don't want any of these. And then Loki the Wretch. When Loki the Wretch activates against you, discard the top card of the encounter deck. If it's a treachery, he gets +1 scheme, +1 attack for that activation. Then he also gets a boost card. And so he's a 1/1, potentially a 2/2, plus the boost. Then if you're playing in expert mode, you have intense focus. So the way that you play expert mode is you attach this card to Loki, or the Avatar of Loki. So this says that the Avatar of Loki gets steady, as well as +2 hit points per player. So instead of like 60 in a 4-player game, it's 68. So a little bit more to go through. It gives them a +1/+1, really kind of amping up that expert, as well as adding in like the expert cards into the encounter deck. When revealed in standard mode, discard the top 2 cards of the encounter deck and top 5 cards of each player deck. The reason that you would reveal it in standard mode is once we do get Loki down to half health, he flips over, and then when revealed, each group in standard mode attaches their set-aside intense focus to the Avatar of Loki. So now it's effectively stage 2, right? In expert mode, you start on stage 2. The intense focus is the stage 2 card. So whenever you flip Loki standard mode, you get intense focus. And then you would do the when revealed. That's only a when revealed in standard mode. Each group in expert mode flips their focus to total focus. So total focus gives him a additional hit point per player, so it goes up to 3 hit points per player, and he gains steady. Then we're going to discard the top 2 cards per player that you can counter deck, and the top 5 cards of each player deck. Find the Dark Scepter and reveal it. If it did not enter play this way, give him a tough status card. So it gets a little bit more brutal when he comes in at stage 3. And then after we've taken down all of his health, that is when we win the game. The Dark Scepter card. Oh, this came out. This was mean. The Dark Scepter card is a +1 attack, and then he gains Stalwart, and it says treacheries cannot be canceled. And then as a hero response, after you resolve a treachery, we can spend 2 resources of the same type to discard this card, which could be really nice because we have Unified Front, so it's like a wild. So you can use Unified Front to get rid of Dark Scepter. But yeah, so when he comes out in expert mode, he's going to have +2 attack. We got Wrapped in Chains. This is a attached to your identity. The attached identity cannot ready, and when it's revealed, you exhaust it. As a hero action, spend 2 resources of the same type, discard this card, place a shatter counter on the avatar of Loki villain. So you get a little bit of like benefit for breaking out of your chains, because now whenever you flip Loki, you're going to deal a little bit more damage to Loki God of Lies, which is the main villain that we're taking out. We got Dragger Buddy. It's a 0/1/2 with guard. When defeated, the defeating player discards the top card of the encounter deck. If it's a treachery, deal this to that player as a face down encounter card. The Thor player was loving it. It was so much fun. It was also really nice to be playing Falcon. So if we did not want this minion back, what we would do is, because Falcon plays with the top card of the deck face up, we could see if it was a treachery. And if it wasn't, that's when we would take him out, then discard the card. It's just another way to kind of cycle those cards. But most of the time we were waiting until there was a treachery so Thor could take him out and then just deal himself again. Yeah, it's a lot of treachery interaction. It's kind of a scenario that's all built around treacheries, which is kind of interesting and fun. And one of the things that I was a little concerned about was there's so many like triggers for treacheries. Like when a treachery happens, do this. But what I kind of got trained to do by the end of the scenario is, if you reveal a treachery, something's happening. So just find what's happening. But when I was like, okay, I'm going to have to remember this when a treachery is revealed, this when a treachery is revealed. But it's all the same type of card. It's all treacheries. So it was not as big of a deal as I thought it was going to be. Poor Starler going to have a bad time. Oh, yeah. What does Mr. Knife do? He's like, first treachery gains Surge. Brutal. And then we start getting into our big minions. The minions were kind of intense. So like Malakath is a 2/2/5 with Retaliate 1, 3 boost icons. After he attacks you, discard the top card of the encounter deck. If it's a treachery, deal it to yourself as a face down encounter card. So Malakath is not happy with you. And then when defeated, you place 2 shatter counters. So you're dealing more damage to God of Lies. But I mean, a 2/2/5 Retaliate 1 is not a super nice minion. We got Grindel, who's a 1/1/6 with guard. When he attacks, discard the top 3 cards of the encounter deck. For each treachery, he gets +1 attack for the attack. And then you get 3 shatter counters when you take out Grindel. But it's a scenario that you have to bring a lot of minion answers to, because the minions are mean. The Minotaur, 2/2/4 toughness. There are 5 or more treacheries in the encounter discard pile. He activates against you when he's revealed, which there probably will be because there's a lot of them out there. And then you get 2 shatter counters when he gets defeated. Hold on, I want to show that one last. Got the Fenris Wolf. He's a 1/2/7 with guard and patrol. 7 health with a guard and patrol is some Galaxy's Most Wanted, like, stuff going on there. Those are some mean things to get around. You do get 3 shatter counters on Avatar of Loki, and then you can place a synergy counter on their mounting resistance environment when you defeat him. So it's really nice benefit when you take him out. It's just like 7 health is a lot to chew through before you can thwart the main scheme. So Fenrir's wolf was mean. I don't even know how to say this. Does anyone have a pronunciation guide for what sound does an HR at the start of the word make? Is the H silent? Ravesgeller? 227. When revealed, discard the top 3 cards in the encounter deck. If a treachery was discarded this way, take 2 indirect damage. Ew. And then when defeated, place 3 shatter counters on the avatar of Loki villain. Choose a group and place a synergy on their domineering forces, which is the damage one. So deal some additional damage when you take him out. But again, 227, 3 boost icons. And you'll notice that like these are 1, but 3 boost icons, 3 boost icons, 3 boost icons, 2, 2. It was just more deceptively hard than I thought. Got Laufey with 1 less boost icon than he normally has at 3. He's a 2/3/7. Then after a character attacks him, discard the top card of the encounter deck. If that card is a treachery, you stun the attacker. You do get 3 shatter counters and a synergy counter on Unified Front, which is the resource one when you take them out. But the other thing is that these don't have victory. They come back. They come back. Brutal. Yeah, the last minion in the set is, I think, the coolest, and that is the Mangog. So the Mangog is a 3/4 10 health per group in your pod. So we were playing with 3, so the Mangog had 30 health. However, any player in the pod can attack the Mangog. And so whenever this came out, we would have an announcement where we would say, there's the Mangog. If you want to attack the Mangog, you can. So anyone can attack it as if it was in their game area, which was kind of fun. And then when defeated, each player in your pod places, each group in your pod, so not just your group, places 3 shatter counters on their avatar of Loki, 1 synergy counter on one of their synergy environments. You get to choose, and then it does have victory 1, so it does go away. The fun interaction that we had with the Mangog is our Thor player played Get Over Here and stole the Mangog from a different pod. Which I thought was just hilarious. It was really fun. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be played, but Get Over Here, if you have aerial, you engage the attacked minion. And because you attack a minion as if it was in your game area, then you engage it. And so we just took it away from him. And then because I was playing the Falcon Defend, I was able to defend for 4 perfectly every single time. So we just let him sit there, and then we just slowly chipped away at him. But that was a really fun. But Mangog I thought was just a really, really fun design. Also in True Solo, brutal. 3/4/10 coming out. Okay, that'll be fun. Thor hammer throwing and almost killing it. But these are some of the ways that you can get like synergy counters on your shatter counters on your Loki. So you're not just doing 5 per player whenever you flip them. There are other ways you can build up those shatter counters, which I think is a really cool mechanic. You also can get shatter counters through like the side schemes and stuff. So like Aura of Stasis. Discard the top 2 cards of the encounter deck when revealed. Top 3 cards in expert mode. Oh, there's a really cool card coming up that I just remembered. If a treachery was discarded this way, exhaust your identity, which is brutal because it does have a crisis icon on it. And so it comes in with 4 threat, crisis, and it can exhaust you. Door Between Worlds. Wild looking card. So this is another victory. A reason to use Directed Force on the Mag. Yeah. Directed Force getting you +2 to take them out. Yeah, nice. Any player in your pod can thwart the Door Between Worlds. So this is very similar to the Mangog as if it was in their game area. It comes in with 7 threats per pod. So this in our game would come in with 21 threats. Then when defeated, each group in your pod places 3 shatter counters on Avatar Loki and 1 synergy counter on their synergy environments. It comes in with a crisis, acceleration, and hazard icon. Brutal. We fortunately did not see that. I think we were able to dodge that using Falcon because we just didn't have a Justice player. And we're like, I think we lose if that comes out. So There are 2 copies of Lofty Goals. And a good use of minion upgrades to deep. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. 2 copies of Lofty Goals. When defeated, place 2 shatter counters on the avatar of Loki. And then as a boost, you take 1 indirect damage for each character you control, which is brutal. Another way to kind of just like poke at the allies and making them a little bit less effective. Yeah, this is Boggs' design. Cyclops just spitting them with all them upgrades. Yeah. This one is a when defeated, place 3 shatter counters on the avatar of Loki. Choose a group in your pod and place a synergy counter on the feigned retreat environment. And then the treacheries. So we got 2 copies of Dark Arts. In expert mode, this card gains Insight 1. When revealed, search encounter discard pile for a minion and reveal it. Otherwise, place 3 threat on the main scheme. It feels very zombie-like, coming back to life. And so that feels Dark Artsy to me. We got Dirty Trick. When revealed, remove 1 shatter counter from the avatar of Loki. Take 2 damage. So this is like getting these counters off of Loki, which is real feel bad. And then we got 3 copies of Stories and Lies. So when revealed, swap the avatar of Loki in play with a random set-aside avatar of Loki. Then, if it is the Knife or the Miscreant, he schemes with +1 scheme in expert mode. And if it's the Rascal or the Wretch, he attacks you with +1 attack in expert mode. And so you still do get that like feeling the DNA of Loki from Mad Titan Shadow, where he's popping in and out with all of his different forms, just in a different take on it. And I think like that is a cool way to do it and not feel too bad. So I like it. Yeah, you play with Trickster Magic, which is what we'll go through, and that is the setup that we played with in our game. Is we did Standard and Trickster Magic, but you can mod it. It's a modular set, it's not a required mod set, so you can play it with anything. But this is the Loki set. We'll talk about Enchantress in a second, but we're going to talk about the Trickster Magic scenario, or the mod set, because I like it. This is the one where it was in the preview article where like whenever you take out a minion, you get them as an ally version, and that's just like a really fun like way to do it. They do have victories, so they don't hang out forever. But where does this sit difficulty wise? I played Standard, and I think we had a couple of like really optimized decks, and so I don't know if I have a great answer for that yet, because that's the first time I played Standard in a long time. So I need to play it expert tomorrow, and I think I'll have a little bit better an idea. My guess is that it's like right in that medium level. It's not going to be a Venom Goblin or a Ronin, but it's not going to be a Absorbing Man. My guess is like Claw level. It's kind of how it feels. But and that's just pure speculation. I think I'll know more tomorrow. Because also like 4 players completely different than like a true solo. And so tomorrow when we play true solo, we'll know a little bit better how they interact together. Okay, so we have the Trickster Magic, which is an 11 card mod set, which is kind of crazy. However, only 7 of them are used in the deck, because we have 4 linked cards, which is the mechanic where when something happens, you can pull it in. So 4 big minions, 2 side schemes, and an attachment. So let's look at the minions, and we will go through the minions and the allies at the same time. So we got Absorbing Man here. He's a 2/1/7. He has Guard, Victory 1. So once you take him out, he's gone. When he is engaged with you, he gets +X, where X is the printed cost, the highest cost card you control. So if you have an Avengers Mansion, Absorbing Man does not like Avengers Mansions. He is going to crush that thing. He's attacking you for 5. Which is kind of crazy. When defeated, the player who defeated this minion puts the set aside of Absorbing Band ally into play under their control. So let's take a look at that. Wood Dog! How long does this play compare to a normal game? We're looking to get a game of Trickster Takeover going at Play It Today games with 3 pods, about 2 to 3 players in each pod. I think we finished our game. Let me look at my schedule. It was slated for 3 hours. I want to say that 2 hours, maybe. I want to say it was about 2 hours. I don't think it was necessarily that much longer than a normal game of Champions. The way that was, maybe slightly longer, but from how we played, I wouldn't say that it was drastically longer than a normal game. I would say it's roughly about the same. When are you doing it? So Absorbing Man, when he's defeated, you put the ally into play. So the ally is a 1/1/3, 2 consequentials on both. And then Interrupt. When he attacks or thwarts, exhaust and upgrade or support you control, Absorbing Man gets plus X to that power, where X is that card's printed cost to a maximum of 3. He also does have a victory 0, so he does go to the victory pile when he gets knocked out. But yeah, I think it was the Thor player who got this, and he was exhausting Asgard. So like a card that doesn't need to be exhausted to actually have an effect. And so he was, attacking for 4, which is pretty cool. Saturday within a week or 2 after release. Sick. Nice. A lot of people always go to Venom Goblin as the hardest and Ronin as the second hardest on Expert. I wonder what the community thinks the hardest is. I would say Nebula or Loki from Mad Titan chat. I would say Nebula. I feel like Nebula is so swingy that it's kind of hard to say she's the hardest, because I've had Nebula games that are harder than Ronin games, but I've also had Nebula games that have been super easy. I feel like Falcon likes Nebula a decent bit because he can set that encounter card pretty easily. Next up, we got Titania. I've been saying her name wrong before my entire life. Titania. 1/3/8. Big minions. Big minions. Steady victory 1. Her attacks gain overkill, and then whenever you defeat her, you get her ally version, which is a 2/3, and then her attacks gain overkill and piercing, and she has 5 health. So just minimum true solo. I'm looking at 10 thwart. Very exciting. Whirlwind. 2/1/6 with quick strike, and it's annoying because after he attacks you, you take 1 indirect damage for each side scheme in play. And so he's coming in, he's attacking, and then you take a lot of indirect damage. When defeated, you get the Whirlwind ally, who is a 4 cost 0 attack. But when he attacks, remove a threat from each scheme in play. For each threat removed this way, he gets +1 attack for the attack. So this is a lot of fun to bring out those side schemes and have a ton of them and clear. And then he's attacking for 3 or 4, depending on how many are out. It's fun to see how the parallels between the minion and the ally version. Someone did mention it's weird that the allies are so much weaker than the minions. And it's it is, right? I guess game balance or whatever. Then we got Zax. So it's 1/2/6, retaliate 1. When you reveal Zax, you discard the top 4 cards of your deck. For each printed lightning resource discarded this way, take 1 indirect damage. And then you're gonna get the ally version, which is a 3/1/4. Also, none of these count against your ally limit, which is pretty nice. So that's cool. And this is also a defiant trait. So if we are looking to abuse the strength and diversity, we have a new way to do that. After he enters play, search the top 5 cards of your deck for a card with a printed lightning resource and add it to your hand. Do you know what's really sad? I took out the Zax and I whiffed. It was too bad. The Trickster Tango is one of our side schemes. The villain gains Stalwart. It's got 2 acceleration icons. And then if the activation is an attack, it gains Overkill. Brutal. Brutal, brutal, brutal. Having Overkill on a boost effect, you have to know it's in there. You have to be expecting it. You are looking to see where that is, because if it catches you at the wrong time, it can be game ending. I'm going to show this card last because I think it's my favorite one in this set. Anyone else looking at these allies and thinking about Black Widow and Avengers? In what way? Black Widow and Avengers, like the movie? We have Love Triangle. We attach it to an ally you control, otherwise this gains Surge. The attached ally cannot attack the villain or defend against the villain's attacks, which is really cool. All right, so cannot defend against the villain's attacks. Other ways to prevent that. As an alter ego action, you spend the attached ally and spend a mental resource to discard this card. What's really nice is when you throw this on like Professor X. Telling Hawkeye that she cognitively recalibrated. Oh, yeah. Yes, absolutely. And then I think my favorite card in this set is Puppet Master. So in expert mode, it gains Hinder 1. I think that's a really fun way to do it because it only comes in with 2. However, it's Hinder 1 in expert. And it says allies cannot thwart this scheme or defend against the villain's attacks. And it comes in with a hazard. So in standard mode, kind of not a big deal. In expert mode, a little bit bigger of a deal, but allies can't thwart it. So you have to rely on your hero to do it somehow, whether that be a basic activation or a like an event. And then while it's out, allies cannot defend the villain's attacks. Still defend minion attacks, but can't defend. So like this is just a card that really hinders like an ally focused strategy. And I think that's a really cool way to do it. So that's the Trickster Magic scenario. I think it's really fun. I really like this idea. Beefy minions, mean like side schemes and attachments. I'm happy with this. This is gonna be a fun one to put into pretty much any scenario. Alrighty, next up is Enchantress, and this is the one that I have nothing about. Because I have not seen anything. I did not do the demo, unfortunately. Oh, I did get a Marvel Champions pin though. That was pretty cool. Alrighty, so Enchantress. We got 3 stages of Enchantress. Normal villain. This is not a massive multiplayer. This is like a normal villain. Enchantress is a 2/1/15 per player. Force responds after she attacks you. Place a charm counter on the enchantment card in your play area. We'll talk about enchantment cards here in a second. Stage 2, her attack goes up. She goes to steady and she gets toughness. When revealed in standard mode, again, one of those a cool way to do that. So in standard mode, when you flip her, but you don't do it at the start of the game in expert mode, which is cool. Force response after she attacks, place a charm counter. And then in expert mode, steady, toughness, 3/2. When revealed, put the set aside Future of Despair into play. Additional 4 threat per player threat on it. After she attacks, you place a charm counter. Alrighty. So during setup, we're gonna set the Future Despair side scheme aside out of play. Oh, okay. So in stage 2, you're doing the Future Despair. So it's the final stage is whenever the Future Despair comes in. We'll talk about that in a second. Attach a random hypnotic gaze to each identity. Players cannot look at the reverse side. Set each remaining hypnotic gaze aside. Okay. So each one of these hypnotic gazes are the same here. Your identity gains the defiant trait, strength and diversity, let's go. And then if there are 5 or more charm counters here, remove each charm counter and flip this card. So like we have the Trance of Envy. Your identity gains the Enthralled trait. When revealed, discard a card you control. Otherwise, discard the top 8 cards of your deck. And then we can exhaust this card to give Enchantress a face-down boost card to ready our identity. So we get a nice little benefit whenever we do have this, but also a negative. We have Trance of Greed. You get the Enthralled trait. You are confused when revealed. Otherwise, take 2 damage. Then exhaust this card to draw a card. Then play that card, paying its cost. If you cannot, you have to take 1 damage. Love that. It's so cool. When revealed, exhaust your identity. Otherwise, discard a card at random from your hand. And then you can exhaust this card, place a threat on the main scheme to remove 2 threat from a side scheme. That's kind of fun. You are stunned. Otherwise, place 2 threat. Exhaust this card, heal 1 damage from Enchantress to draw a card, then discard a card. Then we got the Trance of Wrath. Dude, Cap looks so out of pocket here. Look at Cap's having a tough day. Search the top 5 cards in counter deck for a card and reveal it. Kind of nice that you get to choose. And then as a forced action, all of these are forced actions, which is a new action type, which means that you have to do it before the end of the player phase. Exhaust this card, take 1 indirect damage, deal 2 damage to a minion. So you're going to get one of those, and after Enchantress attacks is when you're going to be placing counters. Once you reach 5, you flip it. The Future Despair is the side scheme that we were told to put aside at the beginning and comes in at the second stage of the villain, so stage 2 in standard, stage 3 in expert. Feels very Lord of the Rings. Put this aside, pull it in. Future of Despair. Enchantress gains stalwarts and cannot take damage. Brutal. When revealed, place 1 charm counter on each enchantment card in play. Comes in with 2 threat per player. Prime Real Estate. Force interrupt. When a charm counter would be placed on the enchantment card in your play area, if your identity has the enthrall trait, place 1 threat here instead. Oh, okay. So if you have flipped your hypnotic gaze, anytime you are forced to place a charm counter, you focus. Come on. There you go. You instead place threat on the main. So that's kind of cool. So whenever she's attacking after this is flipped, she's attacking for 2 plus 1 threat on the main. Oof. Pops at 6. When revealed, if the Crown of the Enchantress attachment is in place, stun each identity. Ugh. Otherwise, searching counter deck and discard power for Crown of the Enchantress and reveal it. This pops at 9. It starts with 2 threat. It goes up by 1 per player. And then same thing from stage 1B, where if you can't place a charm counter, then you place threat here. I love Enchantress in that throne. She looks so... That's awesome. Ready to take on the world. Alrighty, so Crown of the Enchantress. It's an attachment. Attached to Enchantress in expert mode, she gains stalwart. So we see that those differences playing in expert versus solo. Standard. Force response. After she schemes against you, place 1 charm counter on your enchantment card in your play area. Or an additional threat if you've already flipped it. Each player exhausts their identity and takes 1 damage to discard this card. That's kind of wild. To get rid of it, every player has to exhaust. I don't know if we've seen that before. That's cool. Every player has to exhaust. In true solo, that's us. But in 4-player, that can be kind of tough. It also means you can't really defend, or you have to be ready after defending to get rid of this, or you just place on fire. Nice. We got a Luring Call. Attach your identity. Exhaust this card. This is another forced action, so you have to do it by the end of your player phase. Exhaust this card. Place 1 charm counter on the enchantment card in your play area. play a card from your hand, reducing its resource cost by 1. It's an alter ego action. We can exhaust this card to discard the card. We got Kiss of Temptation. Whose hand do you think that is? That's a big hand. That's a huge hand. Whose hand is that? So you attach it to your identity. As a forced action, exhaust the card, place a charm counter, draw a card, then discard a card. And as an alter ego action, we can exhaust the card to discard it. So another reason to go down to alter ego. We got Love Connection. You can attach this card to your identity. Exhaust as a forced action to place a charm counter on the enchantment card in your play area to ready your identity. And then as an alter ego action, you can get rid of it. And all three of these have boost effects to reveal the card. So you're going to get them. You're going to get them. And then we have our favorite card in the entire game. Valkyrie loves it. Seduced. You cannot make basic attacks or play attack events. Alter ego action. Spend a couple of resources, get rid of it. Checks out that they would put that card in here. Brutal card. Jeez. Okay. We got a couple minions. We got an enthralled lackey. 2/1/3 with quick strike. After this minion attacks, you place a charm counter. As a boost, choose to either place a charm counter on the enchantment card or confuse your identity. I do like that you get the choice there. That's kind of fun. There are two of these guys. We got two enthralled brutes, which are 1/2 guards. When this minion is engaged with the player whose identity has the enthralled trait, so you've flipped your hypnotic gaze, the minion gets +3 hit points, so it goes to a 1/2/7. As a boost, place a charm counter or exhaust your identity. We got the Balrog. It's a 1/4/6 and he deals indirect damage. When revealed, if your identity has the Defiant trait, he activates against you. If your identity has the Enthralled trait, he gets a tough status card and 3 boost icons. The minions in this pack are mean. Then we've got Ulick. 0/3/5. In expert mode, he gains toughness. Again, love the dichotomy there. And then force response. After a player deals any amount of damage to Enchantress, he attacks that player. Oh, that's kind of fun. I assume he's like in lore, some sort of like bodyguard or something. When defeated, Enchantress attacks the player defeated and gets +1 attack for the attack. Oh, he's not elite, so you could blank him with Vivian or something like that. But I think that's really cool. It's like this kind of like, whoever you attack, you're getting attacked. That's fun. Hey! Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate it. Oh, happy day. How you doing? We've got 2 copies of Law of Attraction. So this has a acceleration icon. When revealed, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until an enthralled minion is discarded. Then you reveal that minion. Not put it into play, you reveal it because that stinks. Then as a boost, place a charm counter on the enchantment card in your play area. I'm really excited for this. I think this is going to be a really fun villain. Okay. We got 2 of those. Then we got 2 copies of Spellbound. I love the art in Spellbound. I think it's like this dark arts type art. Really cool. When defeated, each player whose identity has the Defiant trait places the charm counter on the enchantment card. Each player who has the Enthralled trait discards a card they control. You really don't want to be enthralled. Pack looks so cool. I can't wait to get my hands on it. Heck yeah. It's cool. I'm very happy with it. We got a copy of Do My Bidding. When revealed, if your identity has the Defiant trait, choose one. If your identity has the Enthralled trait, do both. Ugh. So you can search the encounter deck and discard power for a minion and reveal it, and search the encounter deck and discard power for a side scheme. Thank goodness we only have one of these, because that is so mean. You have to do both of them if you're enthralled. Oh my goodness. Looks like we're going to be rushing Enchantress. We got 2 copies of Magical Restraints. When defeated, so same thing. If you have the Defiant, you choose one. If you have Enthralled, you're doing both. You are stunned, place a charm counter. You are confused, place a charm counter. So if you are enthralled, you are stunned and confused and 2 threat on the main. Ow. There's 2 of those. Wow, that's a lot of acceleration from the villain. Wow, okay. You got 2 copies of Spell Blast. When revealed, if your identity has the Defiant trait, choose one. So same thing. Enchantress schemes and she attacks you. Holy cow. So if you're enthralled, she's scheming and attacking you. And when she attacks, she adds another threat. So minimum, she's scheming for 2 plus a boost card. No, 3 plus a boost card. Wow. Wow. I don't like it. Wow. Owen Wilson is not happy. Then we got 1 copy of Spell Shards. I like this art as well. It looks, that would be terrifying to have those things thrown at you. When revealed, take 3 indirect damage. If your identity took any amount of damage this way, place 1 charm counter on the enchantment card in your play area. I wonder what they suggest to play here. So the same Trickster magic counter set. This seems like a pretty mean encounter set. I mean, like, the treacheries in this set are so brutal, especially once you do flip over to that enthralled side, because you're just getting so, or the villain, I guess, is getting so much acceleration and so much tempo just from 1 treachery card. Scheming and attacking off 1 is so bad. So you really don't want to flip. She starts out as steady, so you can't really just like status lock her. That's not really gonna work because she's steady. And then she becomes stalwart when you flip and you have the crown. I'm excited. I think this is going to be fun. I think Valkyrie is going to get hit by a truck if she tries to play this, but I wouldn't. I mean, like, let's try it. If we do get absolutely stomped on, we may try a different villain as well, but I'm looking forward to trying both of these villains tomorrow. So that's going to be happening tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time, and then we'll post the VODs as well. But yeah, Enchantress looks meaner than Loki for sure, I think. I'll also be curious to hear what y'all think based on when after a couple of reps to see, like, is Enchantress worse than Loki or is Loki worse than Enchantress? Nice. Alrighty, so last thing we're going to do is unbox the film Fatale. And intelligence is going to help you out in justice for sure against this. Yeah, good point. You know what? I'm saying we're going to unbox this. Yeah, we can, absolutely. Enchantress 1A. So you're setting the future to spare sight, scheme aside. You're attaching a random hypnotic gaze to each identity. You cannot look at it. And then you're setting the random hypnotic gaze, or the other ones that are not used aside. I also like how there's more than 4. So you don't just know what you have. There are going to be some that are not used. Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna go through all of these cards because I do like playing through the scenario without seeing the cards and kind of, yeah, of course, without seeing the cards and kind of making it a little exciting. But what I will do is I may flip through the cards a little bit. Then I'll read the lights camera. So in the wake of several bizarre and dangerous events, silent film star Andre Patel has invited our intrepid investigators to Hollywood. In the film Fatale, a unique scenario for Arkham Horror, the card game, 1 to 4 players will investigate the troubled film sets of Lotsie to discover the source of strange happenings. The more they explore, however, the more they may find that Hollywood isn't all just glitz and glamour. That was not long enough for me to get this thing open. I was hoping that little blurb was going to be enough. You think after opening 200 of these, I would get better at it, but apparently not. Does anyone have any investigators that they want to see go against this scenario? I'm going to do it as a two-handed recorded play. It's kind of my plan. I assume it's just a level 0 would be my guess. Or I guess it would tell you. Standalone scenario or a side story in any campaign, and standalone mode follows steps. Playing the film side story costs each investigator 3 experience. So in order to play it as part of as a campaign, you have to spend 3 experience. So I'm guessing you're going to get some pretty cool stuff. That's cool. Okay, let's see if I can get the... Okay, so the setup, the story. You have arrived in Hollywood at the request of your contact, the silent film actor Andre Patel. According to Andre, something strange is happening on Lot C. Cameras and props have gone missing, and a series of accidents nearly halted production. Rumors have spread between the cast members that the films are, quote, cursed. None of it was taken seriously until one of the cast members was found dead. Dun, dun, dun. The late afternoon sun beats down on the hot pavement as you scan the crowd for signs of Andre. Half a dozen extras in alien masks whisk past you, followed by a stagehand dragging a large dinosaur foot by wagon. Across the lot, you finally spot him standing with a trio of werewolves. His eyes light up and he strides briskly through the busy lot once he sees you. Finally, he takes a bow. I thought you'd never arrive, and just in time too. Please follow me. As the silent film star leads you across the lot, you catch glimpses of various sets. A cosmic journey features a cheap-looking rocket, a robed wizard, and aliens Saturnites. Meanwhile, the Forgotten Island is filled with crudely painted pyramids, a gargantuan paper-mache dinosaur, a blood-curdling scream echoes out of the gothic horror set for the abominable Contessa as you walked past. I don't think the mishap latelys are just bad luck, Andre says gravely. Unfortunately, my reputation has made it difficult to get a straight answer out of the cast and crew. Nobody wants to tell their star actor that something's going wrong on set, which is why I need to ask you around the film set, see what's really going on. Andre demeanor brightens. This could be quite fun, actually. I hope you're up for the task. So that's, and then like all of the promos, I guess, are like gonna be the different, like there's a dinosaur. So it's all like movie props. That's pretty fun. I like that. So, okay, yeah, this is just a really fun like scenario for Arkham Horror because you get to go through like all the different like you have like sci-fi sets, you have like westerns. It's a really good dinosaurs like theme to incorporate a ton of themes and not necessarily just have one that is about dinosaur and break like the lore of why are there dinosaurs around. It's a film set, so of course there's dinosaurs around. That's fun. That's cool. I'm looking forward to playing this. I'm looking forward to breaking back into Arkham for streaming. I'm actually finishing Carcosa tonight with my buddies. We have a game that we play, and so we're going to be finishing up Carcosa tonight. So that'll be fun. Trying to see if there's any. Oh, there's Andre. Yeah, I think so I don't risk spoiling it. We're just gonna play through it and enjoy the scenario without any spoilers. So I think that's what we're gonna do. So yeah. All in all, Gen Con was fantastic. Had a ton of fun at Gen Con. Brought home a ton of fun games. Really excited to get to the streaming table, Arkham, Marvel Champions, of course. The new Final Girl stuff. Slay the Spire we'll get to the table. We'll get Hissy Fit, which is the cat game, to the stream table. And so a lot of really fun stuff coming out. But yeah, I appreciate you all hanging out and walking through and experiencing Gen Con. Again, as I said at the beginning of the stream, I did get some extra promos, and so we will be doing a giveaway here in the upcoming couple of weeks. So make sure that you are following along. That's going to be something that is at least announced on YouTube, and then the winners will probably be announced during a live stream on both Twitch and YouTube. But make sure that you're following along to see how you can enter that, to get some Gen Con promos if you were not able to attend. So I appreciate you all. Thank you so very much for hanging out. And tomorrow, very, very shortly, tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be playing Loki and Enchantress. So I appreciate it. We'll see you around.